You're ripe for marriage. You're ripe for marriage. So do you like me or do you like the fact that I have an American passport? Bring to him. You don't even have a car. God forbid. Are you dumb? I'm not gonna marry you and then also be doing all the work. I'd rather be sold in Benin, kidnapped and sold in Benin before I marry this man. Is he my uncle? Is he my future husband? Or is he Osofo? Send me 20,000 US dollars and I'll marry you? So you want me to get married and have twins at that? My voice might go in and out. I'm so sorry because I've been losing my voice. I've been drinking some water, so hopefully that helps. But all right, so let me tell you what triggered the story. So today I woke up to a text message, and I'm gonna put them on the screen for you, at 8 something in the morning saying, "Good morning, my wife." Right? And this is not abnormal because this man has been sending me messages like this for the last few months, right? And then he says, "How are you?" Cool. I don't respond because if you look at the text thread, I barely ever respond. I usually take 5 days to respond to this man. I'm only responding out of respect, you know, but not because I actually care or have any interest. Then below the message, he gives me this long soliloquy as to why I should marry him and that it was love at first sight and that when he looks at me, it feels like home. And then he ends it with, "Please." Okay? I wanted to throw my phone across the room. I literally wanted to pull my eyes out of my head when I saw that message. And you know what's crazy? I didn't even see the part where he asked me, "Would you marry me?" I only read enough of that little clip on WhatsApp. You know, like they give you those previews to know that I'm not about to open this. I'm not gonna open this message. I didn't read the message until I told my friend, guess who texted me today? And then I read the full message for her and I was like, wow, I just got a proposal. So let me tell you what happened, right? I decided that earlier this year, I wanted to celebrate my 24th birthday in Accra, Ghana by myself. Cool, I love it. And I was going to stay at my aunt's house. As you know, I was stranded in Ghana. I was having a shallow season. I really enjoyed myself, but it was crazy, right? I'll link the vlog above, right? And basically, my family member, we're gonna call this family member Sarah. We're gonna keep everybody biblical related because these people are very religious, right? Sarah was like, "Hey, when you arrive in Ghana, no need for you to call an Uber. I have a friend who is actually an Uber driver and can pick you up from the airport." I said, "Sure, wonderful. I'll do that." I get to Kotoka airport, right? I arrive off my flight. I'm tired. I'm exhausted, right? And I call Sarah on WhatsApp and I'm like, "Hey, Sarah, like, where is your friend Abraham? Like, I want to meet him," right? She's like, "Yeah, I'm going to call Abraham to make sure that he's there." So I arrive, I leave the airport and I see Abraham. I immediately recognize him because I've seen his WhatsApp picture. He looks exactly the same. Cool. Then I see Abraham is with another man, right? And this man is wearing a 3-piece suit in Ghana heat. Like, who is wearing a 3-piece suit in Accra heat? Are you mad? So I'm like, okay, weird, but you know, this is Abraham. He's cool with Sarah, so fuck it. It is what it is, right? I actually like hired a guy in the airport. You know how they can bring your luggage out, you just tip them? Yeah, he was bringing my luggage out for me and they were just assisting that man. And then I noticed that the guy wearing the 3-piece suit, we're gonna call him Osofo. Funny enough, his name is actually Osofo, which means pastor in Cree. Like I said, everybody else is religious in this scenario. So we're just gonna keep his name as Osofo because there's a million pastors in Ghana. There's a million preachers in Ghana, and we're just gonna keep it as Osofo. I noticed that Osofo takes out his money to tip him, but I have Ghana cash with me because my sister gave me her remaining cities, so I end up paying for it anyway, right? They put all the stuff in the car, and the way Ghana Ubers are set up is that they're so tiny that, you know, my luggage, my 50-pound luggages couldn't fit in the trunk. So they put one in the trunk, they put the other one in the front seat, right? So because there's a suitcase in the front seat, Osofo sat in the back seat with me. We're in this tiny, small car where me and Osofo are in the back seat and Abraham is driving, right? And Abraham is driving and Abraham is just talking to me. And I noticed quickly that Abraham's English is not very good, right? Abraham is trying to speak English, but his English is not good. And he even says to me, "Yeah, I'm balancing my English. I'm balancing my English." And I'm sitting here thinking, balancing your English? Abraham was giving very much Christianity. It was giving very much villager a little bit, just a smidge. And no shade to the villagers, because we all come from a village, don't we? But he was giving a little, you know, a little village, right? So Abraham is like, Mame Bagana, Mame Bagana. Mama is what my family calls me. And they're like, Joycelyn has come to Ghana. Joycelyn has come to Ghana. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then he's singing like, you know, I'm gonna look out for Joycelyn. I'm gonna look out for Joycelyn, you know, Mame Bagana, Mame Bagana. And he says to me, you know, God has really given me a lot of visions. Because remember, Abraham is he a prophet? Is he an evangelist? I don't know his title, but he's somewhat involved in church, right? And he says to me like, yeah, this is my best friend, Osofo, right? And I noticed that Abraham is like 55 years old and Osofo looks like no younger than 35. So I'm like, y'all have a 20-year age gap between you. How is that your best friend? But you know, I don't think nothing of it. They said they're both involved in church. Cool. Abraham tells me like, you know, do you like to sing? He's telling me this in tree, like, do you like to sing? Do you like music? Can you sing in church? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I like to sing a little bit, but you know, I'm not really into singing like that. He's like, yeah, you know, God has given me a vision this year. And in the vision, one of your family members was getting married. And he said, yeah, God gave me that same vision for you as well. And that you're gonna get married and you're going to have twins. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay. Like, I'm looking around like, nigga, I don't know you from no fucking where. You told me something, I'm gonna get married and have kids. And I say to him, and he kept saying to me, you're ripe for marriage, you're ripe for marriage. He didn't say this in English though. Like, he's half speaking English, half speaking Tree, right? He keeps saying essentially that I am ready for marriage, I'm ripe for marriage. He kept telling me, yeah, you're so beautiful, you're so beautiful. And I'm like, nigga, aren't you supposed to be pressed over Sarah? Why are you telling me I'm beautiful? If you don't mind your business. He says to me, you know, God gave me the vision that you're gonna get married and have kids. You know, when you get married, I'm gonna help you buy a property in Ghana. You know, you send the money and I'll make sure it's done, blah, 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 blah. I'll help you buy a plot of land. And I'm like, you know, I'm not really trying to get married. I'm only 23, like, you know, I'm in Pesa, like, I'm not really worried about that. Like, I'm telling him, like, you know, yeah, like, I'm not really trying to get married. And I'm saying this half in English, half in Tree, but I'm very flustered because I just got off this long flight. I'm tired, I'm exhausted. He then says to me, yeah, you know, God willing, you know, you'll marry Osofo. So I'm laughing, like, we're all laughing like I'm gonna marry Osofo. Okay, well, we're just laughing, just joking. And then he says it again. He's like, yeah, you know, God willing, you'll marry Osofo, you'll have twins. And I said, Pesa, like, I actually don't want that. Like, I don't like that. Like, no, like, I'm actually tired. Like, can we leave this conversation alone? So instead for him to stop the conversation, he proceeds to talk. And he's like, yeah, so what do you like in men? And I say to him, I'm really tired. Like, I don't really want to talk like this. Like, I say something to kind of like stop the conversation or whatever. He's like, oh, do you like beards? And he starts describing the attributes of Osofo. And I'm like, no, I'm not really interested in anything right now. I'm not really trying to date or something like that. And I say to him, like, you know, actually, I like white men. And I'm not saying this because I do or don't like white men. That's not, you know, if I see a white fine brother, let me tell you something right now, I'm gonna marry him. But I'm just saying I like white men just so I can clearly say something that Osofo is not, right? Just to bother them, right? And Osofo's like, do you like me or do you find me attractive? I don't know what he said. He said something along those lines. And I'm like, nigga, just take me to get the SIM card. Take me to get some jollof rice and some chicken. Take me to my aunt's house and let me get the SIM card, right? So we stop to get the SIM card. And I'm in the car and I'm just like, what the fuck? So Abraham gets out to try to get the SIM card and Osofo was sitting in the car with me in the back seat. And he's talking to me and I asked him, I said, so how old are you really? And he said, I'm 35. Mind you, early in the conversation when I asked him how old he was, Abraham immediately stopped and said he's 27. Abraham immediately corrected him and didn't let him say his age, and he said he's 27. I said, oh, he doesn't look a day under 35. Come to find out he's actually 35. So off rip, I'm already irritated because you're lying, right? Number two, I don't know you guys from nowhere. You keep asking me all these personal shit. So what's really getting me is when they start to talk about, you know, purity, they're asking me, are you a virgin? Are you not a virgin? Are you sexually active? You know, it's really pure to be holy on your wedding day. Like, he's saying this to me and I'm sitting here like, what are you, huh? Get the fuck out of my vagina. Why are you worried about if I'm a virgin, if I'm not a virgin, if I'm Jesus, if I'm fucking Mary Magdalene? It doesn't matter who I am. What did you in my coochie for? So I'm already off put that these two grown men are having a conversation about my vagina. Like, that has anything to do with that. So now I'm like looking at Sarah's side eye. Sarah's not here, by the way. Sarah's in America. I'm looking at Sarah's side eye. Like, so I'm very taken aback. And I start thinking about the conversations I was having with Sarah before I left America. And Sarah kept telling me, mind you, Sarah's an older family member, shall I add. It sounds like Sarah's my age group. She's not. Sarah keeps telling me, if a man comes your way, don't reject him, you know, be open for love, shit like this. And I'm like, why would Sarah be telling me this? But you know, Sarah's been wanting me to get married, been wanting me to have a relationship, been wanting me to be, you know, all the things, right? You know, fulfilling the, you know, typical Christian lifestyle. So I'm not tripping because Sarah has always been like that. So now I started to put two and two together, that Sarah kept ramping up the conversation about getting married. Osofo and Abraham keep talking about me possibly marrying Osofo and talking about my my body parts, whether I'm pure or not, being holy. And I'm not feeling it, to the point where I start recording the conversation, because I'm like, I need evidence that this happened, right? So I can tell my friends about it later, and I can freaking tree. And my tree is decent, but it's not the best. So Osofo has been kind of like the intermediary with if there's something in tree that was said too fast or I didn't understand, he'll just say it to me in English, right? But for the most part, I'm following along in tree. So I'm recording it and I'm really uncomfortable, because now they're talking about me getting married and purity, and he's talking about holiness and all that. He's giving me the religious talk. And I'm like, how long is this ride to my aunt's house? How long does it take to get from the airport to this lady's house? Right? So we arrive at the house. They take my suitcases upstairs. I don't even want to walk upstairs with them. I'm so uncomfortable that I don't want to be in a private area with you guys alone. So I'm missing a very crucial part of the story as to why I did not feel comfortable going upstairs with them, is because in the car, Abraham has said to me, when you get married, I'm going to show you how to please your husband. What the fuck do you mean by you're going to show me how to please my husband? I wanted to die and roll out of the car. Because you're weird. We weren't able to get the SIM card because you need a Ghana card to get a SIM card outside of the airport. And I was like, hey, Osofo, let me see your phone. Let me take out the SIM card. I literally pull out my earring, take out the SIM card, and I put the SIM card in my phone, and it works. He's like, okay, it's working for you. Keep my phone, keep my SIM card, and I'll use my other SIM card. And I tell him, can you put credit on my phone so I can have internet to call my friends and to be blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, give me, I don't know, 50 cities or 30 cities, and I'm gonna put data on your phone. He's like, this should be enough. And I'm like, are you sure? Because I talk a lot on the phone, I FaceTime, I do all of that. He's like, yeah, it'll be enough, right? And I have his SIM card, so his number is technically my number while I'm in Ghana. So he can text me, he can call me, because he knows his own number, you know what I mean? He's calling his own number. I would like to add that I also spoke to Sarah the day of, and I said, Sarah, what the fuck? So business, why are they asking me if I'm pure or not? Why are they asking me about getting married? Like, this is very weird. And Sarah's like, I don't know why they would do that. I wouldn't put them up to it. Trust me, da 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 da. I'm gonna call them and cuss them, and that's so awkward. That's so weird. Why is he calling you beautiful? Why is he, you know, objectifying you? So Sarah says she calls him and does that, and I don't believe Sarah, not one bit, because Sarah texted me later the day saying, yeah, you know, give Osofo a chance, be his friend, you can date other men. So I'm like, oh, y'all bitches is in cahoots. All y'all niggas is in cahoots. Cool. Fuck you, right? And the first 5 days I'm in Ghana, if you notice where it says in my Ghana vlog on day 2, I literally say it's actually day 5, because I was having diarrhea, nausea, vomiting. I was surviving on bread, fan ice, and Milo for the first 5 days I was in Ghana, because I was super duper sick. I don't know if it was the vaccine, I don't know if it was the malaria pills. And they would call me, and you know, they call me early in the morning. I'm on American time, so I'm exhausted early in the morning in Accra, Ghana. So I'm like, my bread, like, I'm tired, I'll talk to you later. I'm not really answering them. They want to come by the house. I'm like, no thank you, I don't want you coming by. Like, I don't say it like that, but I'm obviously being respectful, saying like, no, I can't, like, it's cool, like, I'm good, like, don't bring me anything. I was at the mall in Accra, Ghana. If you watch my mini vlogs, you'll see that I was at the mall one day, and I ended up meeting someone who I knew. We're gonna call this friend Bailey. And we're just sitting in the courtyard talking, and I had told Bailey via text message, probably the second day I arrived in Ghana, what had happened and how weird it was. And I even sent the voice notes. Did I send it or did I play it for Bailey? I don't remember, but Bailey got to listen to the voice notes, and we were able to talk about it together. And I get a call from my cell phone. So Bailey's like, answer the phone. So I answer the phone and I put it on speaker, and my cell phone's like, hey, how are you? I said, I'm good. He said, where are you at? I said, I'm at Accra Mall. He's like, oh, really? Like, are you there by yourself? I said, yes, I am. He said, are you sure? And I say, yes, I am. I said, why? What's going on? He's like, no worries. Like, I was just calling to check on you, see how you're doing. I'll talk to you later. So now I'm looking around like, is this nigga in the Accra Mall? How the fuck does he know if I'm in the Accra Mall or not, by myself or not? First off, I lied to him because you too nosy. You out here questioning my purity, wondering about me being pure. So I'm already on the fence about you. I'm not telling you my whereabouts. You already have my phone number, which is your phone number. You know what I mean? So you see my reluctancy on telling him if I'm there by myself or I'm there with people or whatever. And that wasn't the first time that happened, right? I got a call from Abraham. He was like, yeah, so where are you? I said, I'm here. He's like, are you by yourself? I said, yeah. He's like, are you sure? And I'm like, why y'all keep asking me if I'm sure if I'm by myself? I'm by my fucking self. And I also wanted to add that Osofo kept talking about how he wants to take me to different parts of Ghana to see the sites. And I'm like, I don't need you to take me to the historical sites. I can take myself. I'm a grown woman. I came here to be alone. I don't want to be here with you. I get a call from Osofo one day, and he's asking me, like, how are you doing? How are you doing in Ghana? What have you seen? Where are you going? Like, you know, just general questions. And it's not early morning because I told them, y'all can't be calling me in the morning. I'm not going to answer. Leave me the fuck alone. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to Kwame Nkrumah or da-da-da. I'm just telling him whatever my plans were for that day. And he's like, oh, okay, what are your interests? What are your hobbies? And I told him my interests. He's like, oh, you know, I really like you. And I'm like, really? You really like me? I said, what do you like about me? He said, you know, I really like how you carry yourself. I really like, you know, the way you are, your personality. And I'm like, nigga, you don't even know me. You don't even, we ain't said more than 100 words to one another. He says to me, you know, do you like to cook and clean? And I say, no, I don't like to cook. And I hate cleaning. In fact, I want my man to cook and clean for me. I said, do you know how to cook? He said, yeah, I know how to cook. I make stew, I make red bread, I make plantain, I make this, I make that. I said, oh, okay. And I said to him, so do you like me or do you like the fact that I have an American passport? Crickets.
Got him! Got him!
And I said, yeah, do you like me or do you like the fact that I'm American? He's laughing on the other side of the phone, like, no, nigga, do you like me or do you like the other? He don't answer my question. So I already know the answer to this question. You don't even, and I must add, oh, I forgot this. Oh, this is a crucial part of that conversation. In the phone conversation, I noticed, mind you, the conversation was no more than maybe 10 minutes max. He kept calling me Mimi. And if you know, my sister is Michelle. Her name is Mimi. You can go to her YouTube channel here. She has great videos and vlogs. He keeps calling me Mimi. And I'm like, my name is Joycelyn. I literally say to him, you know my name is Joycelyn, right? And I'm like, why does this man keep calling me Mimi? Like, did they promise my sister to him? Or did they give him the impression that I was anything like my sister? Because we don't look alike, we don't act alike, we are not the same. Like, why do you keep calling me Mimi? So that already threw me off. I said, so you really wanted my other sister, but you ended up getting me. And I'm trying to be respectful to this man because I know that he's not up to it. I know that Abraham and Sarah are the ones up to this. I know that they are the ones who are trying to orchestrate this relationship, right? Because Abraham is trying to put his friend Osofo on so that he can come to America. Because he even said in the car ride, like, you know, you can come to America, you can fly back and forth between Ghana and America. So, you know, that was the second thing that happened. So I'm kikiing with about this with Bailey. And I'm just letting Bailey know, like, I can't believe these people are doing this shit. Like, why are they putting this man up to this? Like, I'm trying to be nice because I know they're giving him the impression that I want him, but I don't want him. You know what I mean? And I say to him, you know, I'm not even interested, right? That was strike number 2. When he said he can cook and clean and that he wants a woman who can cook and clean and all this domestic shit, I'm trying to let him know I'm not with it. Strike number 3 that really truly got me. So as you know, he has been loading data onto my phone, right? And that 40 cities, 50 cities is gone. I'm talking to my friends in America, that shit has been gone, right? So I need somebody to load money onto my account, right? And previously I've had him do it and load money onto my MTN. I text him one day I'm like, hey, Asofo, can you do me a huge favor and put money on my MTN? I will send you money through my American bank account and you'll get the notification and everything. Like, I'll send you the money. Just please put money on my phone because I need data. He's like, sure. And I think previously in the conversation that I had with him on the phone, that was 10 minutes, I think I said that I was going to get on Wamo one day. I was going to get this rice dish that we eat. He's like, yeah, sure, I'll put data on your phone. Just send me how much you want or whatever. Call me when you're ready and I'll go do it for you. And he's going to go put credit on my phone or whatever. I call him to put the credit on my phone, tell him how much I need, all of that. Like, can you put this much credit on my phone? Da 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 da. And he's like, what are your plans for today? And I said, oh, my plans are to get at Wamo. Like, I really want some, blah, blah, blah. He's like, well, I'll do this for you. Come to my house. I'll make you on Wamo for you and I'll give you credit to your phone. So basically, he's holding the credit on my phone over my head so that I can go on a date with him to his house. And I'm like, no, I'm actually really good. I'm really not hungry. Like, don't worry about it. Like, I just need the credit on my phone. And he's insisting that I go to his house and eat the food that he cooks for me and I will get my credit then. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm a dumb bitch, right? Because we know I got stranded in Ghana and I got in this man's car. I go watch the story time up there. We know I'm a dumb bitch, but am I really that dumb bitch? Am I really that dumb of a bitch? Am I really gonna go to this man's house for Wamo, a random stranger's house, to eat his food? A man who I don't even know where he lives. I'm Ubering to him. He don't even have a car. God forbid. Anyway, am I about to do all of that just so I can get credit for my phone? Absolutely not. So I'm literally begging. I'm like, please, anybody, please put credit on my phone. I cannot live like this. I cannot live like this. And the reason why I didn't go to MTN myself and put credit on there is because a lot of people were telling me, girl, if you go there with your tree that you be speaking, they gonna rip you off. They're gonna tell you credit is more expensive than what it really is. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna let the professionals do it. You go handle it, because I don't even know the technical information, the technical words and now it's 3 strikes, you're out. First, you're asking me where I'm at and you're questioning my whereabouts. Secondly, you're telling me, do you cook and clean? I really like you. And I asked you, do you like me because I'm American, or do you like me because you like me as a person? While you're also calling me my sister's name. And thirdly, you're going out on a date. You're telling me I need to go on a date with you at your house where you cook me food in order for me to get credit on my phone. Yeah, no. Needless to say, I didn't get the credit from that man, and that's fine, right? But I want to add that throughout the trip, he's been texting me like, good morning, my wife, good morning, beautiful, good morning, my dear, good morning, this, good morning, that. My bruh, are you gonna free me? Are you gonna free me? So, on my last day in Ghana, I'm at the airport, and they came to the airport with me. I almost missed my flight. It was a whole lot going on. This is where I realized, like, even if you're trying to use me for papers to come to America, I need you to not be useless. You don't have the money. You don't have the passport. You don't have the status. Cool. Those things are negligible. What I don't understand is a useless man. Instead for you to carry these 250-pound bags into the Kotoka airport, you're not even helping me. He don't even know how to use the airport cart. And I'm not shading him, because ain't no shade in people who don't know how to use it, because I've been there and I've done that. But it really was geeking me, because you didn't even carry my bags into the airport. You let me carry my own 2 bags and struggle into the airport. You say you want to marry me. Are you dumb? I'm not gonna marry you and then also be doing all the work.
Are you dumb?
The math will never math on that. The math will never math on that. He's doing all this, my dear, my dear, my dear. And I made a mental note. You do all this, my dear, my dear, my dear. Come and I'll do this for you. I'll do that for you. You're my wife. You're my wife. But you can't even carry my luggage into the airport. Are you stupid? You're not even a gentleman. So I get back to America. This man keeps texting me, hi, my wife. Good morning, my dear. How are you? Da, da, da. I'm not responding. If you look at the thread, I be responding 5 days later. I only responding out of respect because he's my elder, because he's 35. And another thing I might add is that Abraham kept calling him a Asofo. Then he would tell me to call him uncle. Then he'd tell me to call him brother. Like, what is he? Is he my uncle? Is he my future husband? Or is he Asofo? What is he? Because y'all clearly want me to be an Asofo mama. And I really don't want to. Like, I'm gonna be the most religious atheist or soulful mama you've ever met. And I was telling my friends back in America, I'd rather be sold in Benin, kidnapped and sold in Benin before I marry this man. I'd rather pull my eyeballs out with my fingernails before I marry this man. And you know what's really crazy? He's actually a handsome man. He's not even unattractive. He's a handsome man. But it's the weirdness. It's the weird level he moves on. And you know what's really pissing me off? Because I feel like the where are you at scenario happened more than once, but I cannot confirm. I don't remember if it happened more than once with him, but I'm almost certain it happened twice where he was asking me where I was at, right? Like being very possessive, being very weird. Like, you know, Osofo, my husband, my uncle, I make a ton of jokes about it. I'm just the type of person who, I'm gonna laugh about it. I'm not thinking much of it, blah, blah, blah. Sarah has been trying to push Osofo on me. Be friends, contact Osofo, do this, do that. Oh, I told Osofo this, I told Osofo that we're praying for you, da 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 da. All this shit. This is the final straw. I wake up to Osofo asking me to marry him. And now I don't know what to do. Do I text him and say, send me $20,000 US and I'll marry you? Do I block him and say, leave me the fuck alone? I'm really more so on the send me $20,000 US and I'll marry you, because that's been my whole thing. When I was in Ghana, I had a lot of people who wanted to marry me for the blue passport. If you want to marry me for money. Let's get into it, because you don't even like me. You don't even know me to like me. He kept saying, yeah, you feel like home. I feel like the United States of America. I'm sorry. He said, yeah, there's something about you. When I met you, I was in love the first time I met you. It's like you feel like home. Am I your mammy? Am I your fucking mammy? I feel like home. Do I feel like the United States of fucking America? Is that what I feel like? This man is funny. And then he said, please, and I hope you notice the timestamps on the messages. He sent me the message an hour early, and then he sent me a follow-up message asking him to marry him. Hey. The men have no shame. No shame. Instead for you to ask for my dowry, ask to go call my father, ask to submit money, instead you're asking me to marry you via text message. Are you mad? Are you a fool? Are you a fool? What really got me is when he tried to blackmail me for credit. And you know what's funny? Throughout this whole process, I was talking to one of my friends and they were like, you have his phone number. And people who know him called that phone number to reach Osofo. My friend was like, you should have been answering the phone saying, yeah, this is Osofo's wife. How may I help you? Like, I should be starting chaos. I should be saying he's cheating on me. I should be saying all of, oh, and I forgot another part. Like, my friend was like, yeah, you should be starting havoc with that phone number. But I'm like, I'm not messy, because I know it's not him who's up to it. I know it's those two people, Abraham and Sarah, who want me to fucking get married at 23. I hadn't even turned 24 yet. I'm fresh off the press. Fresh off the press. And you want me to get married and have twins at that. You're worried about my womb. Get out my fucking pussy. Get out my coochie. Get out my coco. Get out my Milo. No, but let me tell you something that happened in the car ride on the way home. So another thing I wanted to add about the car ride, and that really pissed me off, because mind you, I'm already late for my flight. I had a long day in Accra, Ghana. I was going to miss it. I was irritated, right? And instead for this man to have fruitful conversation or anything like that, he's like, yeah, so, you know, are you interested in Wolfman? Like, do you like me? They start talking about purity again, and whether I'm pure or not, and the importance of being pure and being married and having an undefiled matrimonial bed and shit like that, right? They're obviously not saying this in English, but they're going back and forth. So they're talking about, you know, how I need to be pure and how I need to be this and how I need to be that. And I say to him, so what if I told your congregation that you were talking about a woman's purity like this? Worried about another woman who you're not married to, who you're not engaged to, whether she's pure or not. They're quiet. And I said to him, so yeah, what have you done in your lifetime? You're worried about me being pure, but what about you? Are you pure? Are you a virgin? He's like, no. He said, yeah, you know, but God has forgiven me for my sins. Okay, really? So what were the sins that you committed? I used to smoke, I used to drink, I used to party, I used to whatever he does. And I'm just saying shit that makes him basically shut up, right? And I forgot to add that the night before, was it the night before or the night after, the morning after? Remember how, if you watch my Ghana vlog, I was stranded, I went to the club, I had a wonderful night seeing Woogies and One Day Cool, all of that, right? At the end of it, in the morning, I wake up to a call from Osofo. And I answer it, and I'm telling him I'm tired, like, I'll talk to you later, like, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, yeah, so did you go out yesterday? Did you do this? Did you? And he's wondering about my whereabouts and where I've been and where I'm going. No, but the event where the club was at was not far from where Osofo lived, or like the area that he lived in. I forgot where he lived. I don't remember. But what I do know is he kept trying to clock my whereabouts and wonder if I'm going to a club, if I'm at a party, if I'm this, Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it. Anyway, this is the story time on how my family tried to marry me off at the age of 23. Unsuccessful. Let me let you know right now. Like I said, I'd rather be sold in Benin, kidnapped and sold in Benin, willfully, before I marry this man. Why don't they bring men who actually know my name? Like, the bar is in hell. And in fact, I think there's no hope for me. And you know what's crazy? My Ghana trip really humbled me. It made me realize I'm not meant to be an Ashawo. I'm not meant to be out here living my high girl life, because every time I do, I'm always sabotaged and turned into an Osofo mommy. Let me tell you right now, Osofo's prayers, ooh, the prayers are strong in Ghana. He must have been an Achimota for his praying for me to be his wife, because that man was really holding my hot girl summer down. He was really holding my Ashawo season down. During my birthday, right, he kept insisting on trying to come over, him and Abraham, to celebrate my birthday with me. And I wanted to be alone. I didn't want to be around nobody. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I wanted to vibe by myself, which I did. And it's like, how many excuses? How many times do I have to say I'm tired? Like, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out my Ghana vlog. It was absolutely amazing. I love Ghana, although there was tons of mishaps, tons of Uber fails. I'm going to talk about it more in some short videos, but check it out. Check it out. I'm going to tell you that right now. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I have other story times. I just wanted to share my recent proposal and yeah, my ultimate denial of a 35-year-old man, if not 36-year-old man. Yes, he's 36 now. 36-year-old man trying to marry me. Mind you, I'm 24. The math is not mathing on that one, uncle. It will never math on that one. And now I look like I'm somebody's wife. Now I look like, where is my bride price?